rules-based international order. We believe in the transatlantic alliance. Joe Biden believes in that absolutely passionately.
Boris Johnson is a British politician and writer serving as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and leader of the Conservative Party since July 2019. He was Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs from 2016 to 2018 and Mayor of London from 2008 to 2016. Johnson has been a Member of Parliament for Uxbridge and South Ruislip since 2015 and was previously MP for Henley from 2001 to 2008. He's been described as adhering to the ideology of one nation and national conservatism.
The UK and the US have a real congruence of views on some stuff that really matters to the world.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson, but is also known as Bojo. He was born June 19, 1964 in New York City, making him 57 at the time of this production. He stands at 5 feet 9 inches tall, or 175 centimeters. In November 2020, Johnson announced a 10-point plan for a green industrial revolution, which would include the end of the sale of petrol and diesel cars and vans by 2030, quadruple the amount of offshore wind power capacity within a decade, fund a variety of emissions-cutting proposals, and spurn a green post-COVID recovery. Speaking in Northern Ireland, Johnson described himself as a fervent and passionate unionist. Johnson was baptized a Catholic and later confirmed into the Church of England. He oversaw the 2012 London Olympic Games and banned alcohol on public transportation. In 1987, Johnson married Allegra Mostyn Owen, daughter of the art historian William Mostyn Owen and Italian writer Gaia Servadio. The couple's marriage ended in divorce or annulment in 1993, and 12 days later, Johnson married Marina Wheeler, a barista, daughter of journalist and broadcaster Charles Wheeler. 5 weeks later, Wheeler and Johnson's first child was born. The Wheeler and Johnson families have known each other for decades, and Marina Wheeler was at the European School, Brussels, at the same time as her future husband. They have 4 children: Laura Lettice, Milo Arthur, Cassia Peaches, and Theodore Apollo. Between 2000 and 2004, Johnson had an affair with Spectator columnist Petronella Wyatt when he was its editor, resulting in a terminated pregnancy and a miscarriage. In 2009, Johnson fathered a daughter with Helen McIntyre, an arts consultant. In September 2018, Johnson and Wheeler issued a statement confirming that after 25 years of marriage, they had separated several months ago and had begun divorce proceedings. They reached a financial settlement in February 2020, and the divorce was finalized by November 2020. In 2019, Johnson was living with Carrie Simmons. On February 29, 2020, Johnson and Simmons announced they had become engaged in late 2019 and that Simmons was expecting a baby in early summer. Their son, Wilfred Laurie Nicholas Johnson, was born April 29, 2020 at University College Hospital in London. On May 29, 2021, Johnson married Simmons in a secret ceremony at Westminster Cathedral attended by 30 guests, becoming the first Prime Minister to marry in office since Lord Liverpool married Mary Chester in 1822. On July 31, 2021, it was announced that they are expecting their second child together.
Allowing those vaccines to be distributed at cost, and that's before we've talked about the £548 million that we've contributed to COVAX.
Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson was born on June 19, 1964 in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, New York City, to 23-year-old Stanley Johnson, then studying economics at Columbia University, and 22-year-old Charlotte Fawcett, an artist from a family of liberal intellectuals. Johnson gained a King Scholarship to study at Eton College, the elite independent boarding school near Windsor in Berkshire. He started as a reporter for The Times in 1987, but was fired for fabricating a quotation. He then began working for the Daily Telegraph, where he served as a correspondent covering the European community and later as an assistant editor. In 1994, Johnson became a political columnist for The Spectator, and in 1999 he was named the magazine's editor, continuing in that role until 2005. In 1997, Johnson was selected as the Conservative candidate for Clwyd South in the House of Commons, but he lost decisively to the Labour Party incumbent Martin Jones. Johnson entered into the London mayoral election in July 2007, challenging Labour incumbent Ken Livingstone. During the tightly contested election, he overcame perceptions that he was a gaffe-prone and insubstantial politician by focusing on issues of crime and transportation. On May 1, 2008, Johnson won a narrow victory seen by many as a repudiation of the national Labour government led by Gordon Brown. Early in the following month, Johnson fulfilled a campaign promise by stepping down as MP. In 2012, Johnson was re-elected mayor, besting Livingstone again. His win was one of the few bright spots for the Conservative Party in the midterm local elections, in which it lost more than 800 seats in England, Scotland, and Wales. While pursuing his political career, Johnson continued to write. His output as an author included Lend Me Your Ears, a collection of essays, 72 Virgins, a novel, and The Dream of Rome, a historical survey of the Roman Empire. Johnson returned to Parliament in 2015, winning the West London seat of Uxbridge and South Ruislip in an election that saw the Conservative Party capture its first clear majority since the 1990s. When Theresa May became Conservative Party leader and Prime Minister, she named Johnson her Foreign Secretary. Johnson maintained his seat in the House of Commons in the snap election called by May for June 2017, and he remained Foreign Secretary when May reshuffled her cabinet after the Conservatives lost their legislative majority in that election and formed a minority government. In April 2018, Johnson defended May's decision to join the United States and France in the strategic airstrikes that were undertaken against the regime of Syrian press. In the 2019 elections, some 87% of those eligible voters participated and elevated Johnson to the leadership when the results were announced on July 23rd. In winning 92,153 votes, Johnson captured some 66% of the vote, compared with about 34% for Hunt, who garnered 46,656 votes. At the state opening of Parliament on May 11, 2021, a range of proposed laws were announced that are expected to be enacted during Johnson's second term. These measures include the Dissolution and Calling of Parliament Bill and would restore the royal prerogative to dissolve Parliament, a higher education bill to combat deplatforming at universities, an online safety bill that would impose a statutory duty of care on online companies and empower Ofcom to block particular websites, and an animal welfare bill that would legally recognize animal sentience.
I think we should now be cutting other budgets to spend more on overseas aid when we're still the second biggest funder in the G7.
In 2016, he received £143,789, combining his salary of £74,962 as MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip with his ministerial salary of £68,827. In 2018, Boris Johnson was re-employed by the Daily Telegraph on a salary of £275,000 a year for his weekly column. In the 2020-21 financial year, the Prime Minister will receive £81,932 for being MP and is entitled to an additional £79,469 for his role as PM. Boris Johnson's net worth is $4 million. In 2003, in the midst of his role as the editor of The Spectator, Boris snapped up this 4-bedroom country house in the quiet hamlet of North Weston, Oxfordshire. The PM paid £640,000 for this property. British prime ministers have lived at number 10 since 1975, and the Black Front Door is known to people across the world as the site for alfresco press conferences and budget announcements. These are the cars which are or were owned by Boris Johnson: Tesla Roadster, Citroën AX, Toyota Mirai, Toyota Previa GX, Nissan Leaf,